Let me ask you 3 questions. Number 1, what is wrong with the world? Number 2, what is wrong with you? And number 3, why? Now, your answers to these questions will not be based on any observable science or any verifiable fact. It will be based on your worldview. And your worldview is based on an assumption. First, let me explain here. What is a worldview? A worldview is how you, from your perspective, see and interpret the world. And it's not based on education or experience, but it's based on an assumption. And if your assumption is wrong, then your conclusion will also be wrong. For an example, if I was to take my shirt collar and have the top button with the second button, my starting point would be wrong. Now, if every other button on my shirt lined up, when I got down to the very bottom, my shirt tail would still be crooked. And why is that? Because my starting point was wrong. So in the world today, our assumptions or our starting point is wrong. No matter how much intelligence and social research and education that seems to line up and make sense with all the intermediate steps, at the very end, our conclusions are off and incorrect. It all begins with an assumption. Furthermore, when does the worldview even begin? Well, by the time you're 13 years old, your understanding of God, the universe, right and wrong, have already been formed. The question is, who has formed it? Well, according to experts, there's 3 levels of worldview influence. The top tier of influence is the family, the media, and the government. The second tier of influence is the schools, the celebrities, and the friends. And the third and bottom tier of influence is the church. But it's only the church that helps us to have a complete and consistent and coherent worldview through the scriptures, through the Bible. There are 5 core beliefs that I write about extensively in my book called Undivided. And those 5 core beliefs help frame for us a Christian or biblical worldview. What are those beliefs? Very simple. Number 1, there is a God. He is the creator of the heavens and of the earth, and he is sovereign over his creation. Number 2, the Bible is 100% true, and its moral teachings apply today. Number 3, the devil is real, not just a metaphor for evil. Number 4, man is sinful and saved by God's grace. And number 5, Jesus is the sinless Savior, the Son of God. Now, how do these 5 simple Christian beliefs give us a complete, consistent, and coherent worldview? Well, every worldview has 3 parts. Follow me now. They have the origins, the problem, and the solution. Origins, problem, solution. In other words, where do we come from? What went wrong? How do we fix it? Those 5 core beliefs fit in that pattern like this. Where do we come from? Our origins. There's a God, the creator. We are made in his image. Furthermore, the Bible, that God has revealed himself to us, given us information about who he is, his character, and how much he loves us. The problem now are the next 2 core beliefs, that there is a devil and man is sinful. We call that in the Bible the fall of mankind. When the devil came in, tempted Adam and Eve, as he tempts you and me today, they committed sin as we commit sin, and we are separated from God. That's called the fall. The earth now is living under a curse of sin. What's the solution? The 5th core belief, Jesus Christ, the sinless Savior, who has come to reconcile the world back to God the Father and bring us back to our origins in a relationship with God in his image. That's a biblical worldview. But the post-Christian, unbiblical worldviews that are very popular in the 21st century see things quite differently, again, because of their assumptions. They assume in their origins that there is no God, that we completely evolved in a materialistic, natural universe without any divine intervention or guidance. And since there is no God, along this evolutionary process, they get to the problem. The problem was we came into a human society and we developed a moral code. That moral code, don't kill, don't steal, don't lie, don't be jealous of my possessions, was now made up so we can now survive this new human evolved community. All about our possessions, our selfishness, our survival. How do we enforce this moral code? We made up an invisible God to then bring fear or judgment if we violate this new moral code. That was the problem in the eyes of an unbiblical or secular worldview. So their solution is obviously different than our conclusion. They want to remove religion, and morality to bring us back into our natural origins, whatever our desires tell us to do. That's why the Christian faith is declining in Western civilization. That's why moral restraints are being removed from human society, as they want to bring us back to their assumptions or their original starting point. There's no God, there's no moral code. And that's why you need to be part of the Biblical Belief Center to learn how to defend and promote the Christian faith in what is now being called a post-Christian or post-truth world. So stay tuned for further videos to learn more and be prepared to engage your culture and your friends in the 21st century.